What kind of religion ends up treating your own leader and fear them more than you fear Allah? They used to kiss the hands of Saddam Hussein, and big generals in the army treated these leaders like Allah. They praised them with songs on the radio more than they praised Allah. Sometimes I ask myself, is that religion, really? Is that Islam? I don't even know. America felt more holy to me. It felt more honorable. It protected my humanity more. It protected my dignity as a human being. The American people had so many. I learned a lot from America. I was just absorbing all of the culture. I made Jewish friends, and I discovered that we are so similar in our culture, in what we eat, in what we like, in even some Hebrew words are so close to Arabic. And I discovered these are not the monsters we learned who they are. And I was wondering, why is my culture so hateful of Jews? What is in Judaism and in the Jewish people that's making them practically a perfectly healthy person? Just you mentioned the word Israel or Jew, and they just turn so angry. What is the root of this anger? I started to feel very disturbed about what we learned as children. How did we get away with all these lies? How did the Arab world, the Muslim world, 1.2 billion, how did you control the minds of all these people to make them hate such a small number of people? The Jewish people are only 13 million around the world, 5 million Jews in Israel. And it didn't make sense. How can 1.2 billion be so hateful and afraid and just totally outraged by 5 million people? Something didn't add up to me. And I wanted to learn the truth for myself. And I started reading books about the history of Judaism. I wanted to know. And I was in shock that everything we accused the Jews of, we did. It was us who did it. It wasn't the Jewish people who did it. And that, it made me feel like I've been living with a big lie all my life. I was living behind a wall, a psychological wall, that I wrote an article one time and I called it the Arab Berlin Wall. I lived behind that wall, believing total lies about a religion, about a people that didn't deserve our hatred, but they deserved our respect. And we did everything. We did everything to the Jewish people, to destroy them, to boycott them, to alienate the rest of the world from them. We did everything to ruin their reputation around the world and their good name by religious leaders who participated in this big lie. And they called themselves men of God. What kind of men of God do cursing inside mosques? What kind of religious leaders? What do they do to their people to stir them and cause anger and incitement? Don't they know that when you incite people that much anger and incitement and all kinds of hate, promotion of hate, don't they know that this will cause action? Words cause ideas, and ideas affect your behavior. And you wonder now why we have a phenomena called Islamic terrorism? It's the normal product of what we learned. And God knows how I escaped it. And now, I can't accept it. It's totally immoral.
America is a very open society, and many have said that militant Islam exploits that openness for its own advantage. Can you reflect a little bit on the rights that we are accorded here and the angle that militant Islam sees in that openness, and how they utilize that openness for their own agenda?
The West needs to understand that their open system is based really on an honor system. But some groups are penetrating the West for the purpose of Islamizing the West. Saudi Arabia builds mosques around Europe, around the United States. 80% of our mosques in the United States are built and financed by Saudi Arabia. And how many synagogues and how many churches exist in not just Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East? The few churches that are left are being burnt, being desecrated. Nuns are being stabbed in Alexandria, Egypt. The situation is very bad for any minority in the Middle East, not just Jews, Christians, Kurds, any minority who's not a Sunni Muslim. So what you see is a one-sided situation here. A side that's open, democracy, it gives freedom of religion for anybody, and it's open for if there is going to be, it's open for radical Muslims to go in and do all the damage they feel they want to do inside the West, including terrorism. On the other side, it is their duty. The jihad is regarded as their duty. It's their honor. So one side is absorbing this terrorism, this jihad, and one side is honored by doing that jihad. It is their duty to do that jihad. It is the word shaheed is an honorable word. So what the West perceives as terrorism is somebody else's honor. And if the West doesn't understand this, pretty soon they are going to be invaded and totally taken over. And I like to remind sometimes people of an example of this that already happened in history. The Egyptians were, in the 7th century, it wasn't Saudi Arabia that was the big superpower. The superpowers were Egypt and Mesopotamia and Turkey and Iran. These were the superpowers of the Middle East at that time. It wasn't Saudi Arabia. But they were fighting each other. They were tired. They were caught at a period of their time when they were demoralized, they were weak, and their language was not Arabic. Their religion was Judaism or Christianity. And in a few decades, they were taken over by tribes from Saudi Arabia, who in just a few decades changed their language to Arabic and changed their religion to Islam.